Speaking of exciting and interesting teams to watch as of now, the Falcons have been firing off free agency moves. So we'll just kind of
Yeah.
talk about them as a whole. We got Kirk Cousins is the big one, but they also brought in Darnell Mooney,
Yep.
signing him in free agency, and then flipped Desmond Ritter to the Cardinals for Rondale Moore, which I think is a sneaky good deal.
I
What
think
do you
so
guys think
too.
about the Falcons?
Simon, I'll let you go.
Sure. Well, we talked about it last week as well. With I know Caleb, you wanted the Falcons specifically to go after Justin Fields because I remember you thinking that was a
Yeah.
really good move, and I think by the end of it, I partially agreed with you. But I really don't hate it. I think Kirk Cousins is gonna have the opportunity to here to use all of these weapons really, really well. I think this Falcons team absolutely has the chance to be, I mean, sneakily good. They have such an insane offense. I mean, you mentioned it as well. Their defense, not that bad. Not that bad. They definitely have the potential to surprise a lot of teams, maybe take that division. I'm excited to watch them. I'm sure I'll tune into a couple Falcons games this year. I know I'm a little higher on Kirk Cousins than a lot of people are, so that also could be part of it, but I mean, I like what they've done. I don't really know what they could have done better other than maybe go after Fields, but at that point, no one's going after Fields, so that just feels like a nitpick.
Well, he got the Netflix bump, right, Kirk?
Yeah,
I feel like the Netflix doc kind of changed everyone's opinion on Kirk Cousins because they loved him so much from the Netflix doc. So
very likable dude.
yeah, he's very likable. I think everything they've done offensively has been great. Defensively, I mean, they're still waiting for Calais Campbell and that decision. They left Jeff Aduka to the Texans, who I know we're going to talk about the AFC, and I think the Texans won free agency. They've killed it. But overall, offensively, they've done great. I mean, say what you want to say about Kirk Cousins. He is a steady, safe quarterback.
Yeah.
And, if you're a fantasy player, okay, this is the year. You're talking yourselves into this is Kyle Pitts' year. This is
Oh
Kyle
yeah.
Pitts' year. It's finally going to happen. But, they have an opportunity now to see what happens with Kyle Pitts and see if he's worth paying. Drake London, see if he's worth paying. Bijan, you talked about backs like Saquon, Caleb, not just being a running back. And Bijan, we know, is so much more than that. And I think he saw like Gibbs in Detroit kind of passed him in the rookie running back conversation last year quite a bit, and Jameer Gibbs. And Bijan has that potential to be a catcher and to be a runner and to be a CMC level running back. And now that he has a guy in Kirk, he has that opportunity. Got a good coach there with Raheem Morris. So I think everything there is right. And you look at the division, that arguably is the worst division in football right now.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like, you just don't get, I can look at every single division like, oh, okay. Like, I would say the second might be the AFC West is pretty bad right now. That's probably the
Yeah.
second worst division maybe now all of a sudden. But we're not having conversations about Carolina. The Bucks are, good, but they've lost some defensive pieces like Murphy Bunting and lost Devin White.
They're definitely
We'll
not better than they were last year.
No, and then the Saints are the Saints, and it depends how much you care about Derek Carr and what he can do. And the Falcons, I thought, were the best team in that division last year. It's just Arthur Smith's not a good coach, Desmond Ridder's not a good quarterback, and they shit the bed in games they should have won.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. And I think you talk about the Texans winning free agency. I would almost argue that the Falcons
I was
have
thinking
up there
won free
too.
agency, or they're up there.
Yeah,
But I mean, Kirk Cousins is the big piece, and I mean, solving their quarterback problems. You even had, the quarterback problems were bad when their new coach is coming in and saying, "Oh yeah, this I wouldn't have this job if we had a better quarterback."
yeah,
That's when you know it's bad.
yeah.
So getting a guy like Kirk, who again we talked about on the previous podcast, I was more of a Justin Fields guy in this spot, but I think that's just because I'm higher on Fields than a lot of people are. And I thought they would kind of go with a more like try to develop a little bit more, try to wait it out and maybe wait like one more year until you like fully go for it, try to develop Fields. They're going for it now. And I think that's what these moves indicate, where you bring in Kirk, who is a very much win now guy because he's 36 and coming off an injury. And then you make a whole bunch of moves to bring even more weapons around him. The weapons would have been good anyways, even if you didn't add Darnell Mooney and Rondale Moore. But now you've got like an excellent, like one of the best receiver trios in the league, I think, at this point. Plus
Yep.
Kyle Pitts, plus Bijan. that is an insane offense, and I think it can take them pretty far. I wasn't completely sold on the Falcons' offense with just adding Kirk Cousins. I think the Mooney and Rondale Moore deals honestly put it over the top for me.
Yeah, I would agree. And I mean, anyone else in that division just there's nothing else to move me. Like, there's no reason to even talk like about anyone else in that division. They haven't done anything. I mean, for Carr, I guess for Carr, it's gonna. I dealt with this as a Raider fan. Like, he just continually learns a new offensive playbook, and he's going to be learning another new one this year. So it's always a step back when he has to learn a new playbook. So it's a step back there for the Saints, who I guess you would say, even with all respect to the Bucs winning the division last year, you probably still say the Saints are the second best team in that division. But it comes down to the play of what Derek Carr is, and I don't even know they don't even have a backup right now because Winston went to the Browns. So it's the Saints have all the talent in the world, just like the Falcons do. It's just, can they rely on Derek Carr to be what they need him to be?
Yeah, and he probably won't. And I mean, even then, the Saints, they're also stripping parts away faster just because of the way they are in the cap. I feel like they're always going to be about a 9-8, 8-9 team. I don't think much moves the needle on that, honestly, just because of how they're kind of stuck in neutral at this point. But if we want to move on to I didn't really design it this way, but we have kind of been talking all NFC. If we want to flip over the card, talk about some AFC stuff.
Well, no. We got to talk about your division.